Wallace hasn't always been able to enjoy the comforts of his home. In fact, he was once homeless, and he doesn't forget what that was like.
I try and share my story and my experience, my knowledge, not only as somebody that was labeled as being mentally ill, an addict and experiencing homelessness, but to let them know that we're people first.
Wallace considers himself an activist for social justice. Addressing issues through his blog and YouTube channel, he advocates for people experiencing homelessness in our community.
It's cold out in the streets, no matter what time of the year it is. Just by the way people are marginalized and stigmatized and treated.
One of the resources Wallace was most pleased to see realized last year was changing what was an extreme cold weather shelter here at the First Unitarian Fellowship into a winter shelter, meaning it was open 7 days a week from November to April. This year, they've decided to go back to being an extreme cold weather shelter. Coordinator Kevin Griffith explains.
We realized that people were living here. This was their home, and that's not really what it was intended to be. It's a shelter. It's to help people in time of need.
Of course, the people are going to gather there because they know the shelter is open, and because somebody is experiencing homelessness, should they not have a social network like anybody else in our community? Is that wrong to be able to interact amongst themselves and with others in the community? I don't think so.
We will house people when the weather is the worst, and we'll keep them warm and dry and put food in their stomachs and send them off with fresh, clean clothes and warm. But we're not going to be a 5-month rooming house.
I'm not trying to vilify the Unitarian Fellowship. They're a wonderful bunch of people, but somewhere along the way, politics and bureaucracy got involved in it. Because it's 1 degree above what the criteria is, we shut the doors on these people again. And what message is that sending to the people we're trying to assist? Once again, they're being kicked down and treated less than. Not over funding issues, but over ideology.
We realized that we were actually doing the people we serve a disservice. We were taking any kind of motivation they may have to get their own place. Now, if we are closed, there's the Salvation Army, New Hope, and Samaritan House for women, and they're emergency shelters. They're 365 days a year, 7 days a week.
The extreme cold weather shelter has been open since November 6th and will be open when temperatures are below 3 degrees and dry or below 5 degrees when wet. Wallace continues to advocate for a winter shelter, using his experience to drive him.
What I learned, no matter how horrifying it was, whether we're seeing people die or being locked up in psych wards, and I try and look at the humanity and the positive in it, and it made me more compassionate, understanding, and that never say never, because there was a time in my life where I said I'd never end up homeless or addicted or any of those things, and I did. And it can happen to anybody if the circumstances unfold through tragedy, trauma, whatever, and that's what fuels me.
In Nanaimo, I'm Kelly Robinson.